Married at First Sight, Season 13, Episode 5. Gil is the perfect example of how and why women choose the wrong men. It's like these delusionistas cannot see anything else wrong with Gil because he's good looking. His friends said out of their own mouth, Gil is extremely cheap. And you have people, women on my videos still fighting me about me saying Gil is cheap when his friends has said Gil is extremely cheap. Last week's episode, how he was making fun of his wife. Oh no, there's nothing wrong with that. She's materialistic. And you know, one of the lessons my dad taught me was to pay attention to how a man treats you before you marry him. And as a wife and husband, how we are to never de-shield your mate in public. What does that mean? Never strip them, never uncover them, never embarrass them, never talk bad about them in public. And what did Gil do? Talked bad about Merla the whole time he was at the pool. And some of y'all delusionistas, y'all can't see that. Why? Because he's good looking. And he is the perfect example of why y'all pick dookie husband, why y'all choose the wrong men, why y'all married wrong, and why y'all continue to choose the wrong man, because you are blind. You are blind, and you do not know how to correctly date. And so you will end up being the naked wife because you're in your emotions and you're not paying attention to all the red flags and all the signs he's showing you, because you are blinded by a man's good looks. Welcome back to Church Girls and Faith Girls Want to Get Married. Hey girl, happy Tuesday evening. I just got in the house. You know, back to school is next Friday for my little. Can you believe that? Friday? Okay. So we had to go get some shoes. Thank you for your love and support with my books. 23,000 guys. Listen, you need this book, girl. You keep making mistakes and excuses for Gil. Get the book. If you got it and you read it, get another one and read it. Okay, so Gil met up with the group, and of course, Marla is working. My husband worked on our honeymoon too. Okay, for those of you complaining about her being working, that's because y'all don't, y'all have them little jobs. Okay, you've never come in contact with someone who works all the time. So my husband was working on our honeymoon because my husband is in marketing. And my husband doesn't have to go in his office to sit down to work. He actually works on his computer. Okay. And my husband's been home going on 2 years, almost 2 years because of the COVID. And he travels, so there's no traveling going on. Okay. And so she's working. For those of you, y'all have your little, minimum wage job. You got to go to McDonald's and work for 2 hours and get $2.50. You don't understand why she is working, okay? And so they're talking about how things is going. And he's like, well, Merlin, Brett and I can't stand Brett. She's opening her. She's talking too much. Brett and Gil should be married because they talk, they're feminine. Brett is extremely masculine. Gil is extremely feminine. Put them together, they'll make a happy couple, right? And so Brett and Ryan said, oh, we're still splitting bathroom. And Gil is like, oh, no, Merla got a lot of stuff in her bathroom, right? And Brett is talking about, and Gil is asking, did y'all kiss? And she's like, well, Merla, she was like, no, 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 I ain't gonna kiss it. I ain't gonna kiss it. And then Rachel jumped in and said, yeah, she knew it was a cheek kiss, right? And then Gil goes on to talk bad about Merla. And he said, she can be particular. She likes the finer things in life. Do you see how he continues to make fun of her liking the finer things in life because he can't afford it. He ain't never had no finer things in life, you know. The old people resort. This is like heaven to him because you know he probably stayed more roach mobiles, whole motels and stuff like that. Uh-huh. And he's like, for example, this place, what y'all think about this place? A couple of people was like they like it, but I'm so glad that even the not liking Merla people can admit that that place looks like a retirement home, like Merla said. And so they're saying, oh, yeah, it's nice, we like it. And then he says, well, to her, it's a retirement and a old folks home. And then he says, and she's very vocal about it, because you know some men don't like women to talk. Watch out for those men who keep saying you're vocal, you're too vocal, okay? And then he talks about how she's throw tantrums and she gets cranky if she didn't eat or didn't sleep. Like, who don't get cranky when they don't eat or sleep? You don't want to see me hungry, girl. Ask the girls the job. Oh, Lord, it's time for Janice to eat. Here, girl, eat your cracker, okay? Okay, so then he said he treats her like a toddler and he waits for it, wait it out, and to feed her. Johnny, in his voiceover scene, sounds like what Gil was saying about Merla was supposed to be private. So I hope y'all don't come up on here and make excuse for him, because another man has said, wow, that sounded like that should have been a private conversation, not something you discussed in the group. You know why? Because he's shielding her and he's uncovering her, right? And then Bow said, this is Bow, if Merla heard what he was saying, knew what he was saying, or heard what he said, she is sure she's going to have a few choice words for him. I hope she finds out and lay in his feminine behind, okay? And then he says when they're in the pool, this is Merla's stunt double. And then he says again, guess what he said again? My wife is high maintenance, but okay. Why you keep talking about her being high maintenance? Because you can't afford her and you can't afford her lifestyle and you're a bum. Okay. And so it's interesting because I have a screenshot with today, and somebody said that they were not all sold on Gil. And I'm so glad that a few of the ladies are starting to see through the facade and the representatives. So I responded and I said, I have never been sold on Gil. He is a perfect example of why women choose wrong. They choose men only because they are good looking, but nothing else. I go on to say Gil is extremely cheap and he is a feminine male. No real man run their lips like Gil does. Yuck. Somebody responded, one of the delusional issues. Janice Hylton Thompson, I guess you don't watch this show much because what you are claiming is shallow and not true. Basis behind these statements. How do you claim someone cheap after a couple of shows and not every man was good looking? Didn't I say that from day one that Gil was cheap? Do you know why? I can say he's cheap because, hello, I wrote a 400-page book on the different types of men. And once a man opened up his mouth, I can tell y'all, didn't I tell you about Michaela? Didn't I tell y'all about Hurricane K? I told y'all about her. Somebody responded and said, Gil may be laughing because he has more money than she think. Uh-uh. Gil is a broke dusty. Okay. Now another person in my community in my comments today, I've been having issues at work with my phone. I don't know, something they changed in our building and it's affecting our cell. So I had went outside today and I was able to respond to this person. But I want to read to show you how people are delusional and how people use God and the Bible. And I'm like, well, I don't know what kind of God you're talking about, baby. Because the columns in Solomon's temple cost $2 to $5 million each. Okay, this delusional. Jesus saves. Okay, this is her name on YouTube. There is so much wrong with this video. So, the video was. Oh, I'm so hungry, girl. Marla to compromise for Gil is what's wrong with marriages. It's under that video if you want to go read. This delusionisha said, there and Dusty and Picnisha and Dust Bunny says, there is so much wrong with this video. He isn't cheap. There is so much wrong with this video. He isn't cheap. If he said no to a $4,000 person. That is rent, and there is no place for materialism in God's kingdom. How much money did Solomon's temple cost? How much? How much money did one of them pillars cost? He is a firefighter and has values. Gil didn't ask her to lose her value. He is asking her to humble herself. Woman, materialism is what's wrong with the world today. He jokes with Merla. I don't see him controlling. He is tired of being sick and tired. Bad advice. After 2 days, he's sick and tired of being tired. Get you a man who leads you, not maintains your lifestyle. This is what's wrong with the church. Huh? Get a man who leads you, but who you not maintain your lifestyle. Oh, so you want to lead me, but you can't even provide for me. Make it make sense to me. I need to come on down from where I was living and live lower with a man than I was living. Make it make sense to me, to you delusional church people. You not maintain your lifestyle. Someone who maintains your values and morals, not materialism. Okay. Okay, so where are we supposed to live and what are we supposed to eat and how's the kids supposed to go to school? This is what's wrong with the church. This foolishness that this Jesus say person. I said, ma'am, his best friend says Gil is extremely cheap. I continue to, I said, I am just very good with knowing men that I picked it up from the second he opened his mouth. She responded, Janice Hylton, regardless of him being cheap, Marla is not acting how a woman who wants to be married should act. But Gil is, him being cheap is, money's not important to him. He's acting like a husband. And she goes on to say, Janice Hylton, I didn't even see this one. No, that's why most women are not married. We don't fund men of quality, well settled, and the materialistic women make the good men miserable. God was founded on humility. God was founded. Well, who found God? My kindness, respect, not materials. Men and women want to be divas, not just be a healthy, normal. I don't, which Bible she read? Because in the beginning, God created material. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, the stars, the moon, the stars, the earth, the fish. All material. He didn't even get to man until the 6th day. So you delusional church people, get you a Bible. Go on over to study the Bible. Study the Bible. Because y'all don't know what y'all talking about. And this is why divorce is worse in the church than it is in the world, because of foolish people like this person here. Foolish. Foolery. But you know what my daddy said? Pay attention to everything a man says. Don't overlook nothing. Everything he says, everything he does, don't overlook it. I am amazed at the number of women who is all they got. He's so good looking. That's it. Because there's nothing else to say about him. There's nothing Gil has said to impress me. Nothing. Not one thing. And y'all know I am a fair review over here. I hope that's something y'all could say about me. Nothing. But you got the woman taking off their drawers, throwing it at him. Why? Because they are good looking. He's good looking, they says, and they're not paying attention to everything else he's saying. And this is why women marry men and become the naked wife, because you ignored all the red signs and all the signs that was right there hitting you in your face. 12,000 guys available, babes, on Amazon. I love you. I have to go. Let me go eat my fish for dinner. Let me know what y'all think. Are you making excuses for him? Are you making excuses for the men you date? Are you refusing to see the red flags? And did you overlook the red flags and marry one of these people and then live to regret it? Because you know what always going to happen. He going to come back. All this stuff, red flags you ignore, it's going to come back and kick you in your teeth. Uh-huh. All right, girl. I gotta go. Bye. Love you.